Hi, folks. Bob Main here from Handgun World Podcast and Modern Handgunners. And joining me for part two of Keeping Commonality of Guns is
Ben Branna from Modern Self-Protection. Glad to see you all back so you could hear us talk more about why you are either doing it right when it comes to your self-defense or you're doing it wrong. We're very opinionated here. Actually, tell you the truth, if you carry a gun for your self-defense, I bet you and I will be great friends. But we will have lots of discussion about which gun is better and which technique and which holsters, right? We all do that.
The purpose of this whole video and this whole series. So in part one, we talked about how we like to standardize the type of guns. Now, let's talk about the why. How's that?
Well, the why is you can become a master of one system over another. Every system is a little different. From a 1911 to a revolver to a striker-fired gun, they're all internal, external, and their buttons and placement, they're all a little different. And the more you try to switch from one gun to the other, the less you're actually mastering that one gun where it becomes your thing. It's kind of like getting in a car after your wife drove it. You know, I'm 6'2" and I get in the car and my wife is 5'2", and I can't see nothing, I can't reach nothing, I can't do nothing. My wife is kind of the same way. It's the same car, but we adjust it differently, and then it feels different, and then we can't do anything. It's kind of, if you're out there in the world, think about when somebody borrows your car and they adjust your seat, your driver's seat. How long does it take you to adjust that driver's seat back to where you had it before, or you think you had it before, so it's comfortable? That's the same thing when you're going from one 1911 to a striker-fired gun. You can drive the car, right? You do okay, but you're just not as comfortable with it. So the more comfortable I think you are with the guns, the more you're going to use them, the better you're going to be with them. And driving is the same way. The better you can get that seat all comfortable and get your butt in there, the longer you can drive without having to stop, and the better you can be as a driver too.
I totally agree, and the driving is a good example, Ben. Thanks for bringing that up. So I also think that it's a good idea to standardize calibers. I'm going to show you three guns right here: Glock 19, Glock 43X, SIG P365. They're all 9mm. Now, I'll throw in my opinion as to why I think that's important, and then Ben, share yours. I like to keep everything that I'm going to carry, now I'm talking about carry, not competition, the same caliber. Because, first of all, I can get good deals on ammo. If I buy 9mm in bulk, even at today's prices, I can still, if I buy it in bulk, 1,000 or 2,000 rounds at a time, I can save money. If I had to buy 300 rounds of 9 and 300 rounds of 40 and another 300 rounds of 45, not only can I probably not save as much money, but then in my the area where I keep all my guns and ammo, now I got to start stocking different ammo and keeping track of it in my cabinet and all that. What do you think?
If for nothing else, purely logistical reasons that you talked about at the end there. For years, I've had so many freaking ammos coming out of my ears. I used to do the little P32, which takes 32 auto, and then I used to do its big brother in 45, and then I had a couple 9mm laying around, and then I had 5.56 and 308 and 7.62 by 39, and I'm trying to think of all the other calibers, 7.62 by 54R and shotgun, and 4 different flavors and all this stuff. And I got to tell you, my ammo supply area looked like a freaking disaster.
Probably looked like a gun store.
Worse. And honestly, it still looks like a freaking disaster, but I just keep what I use out on the front all the time. Logistical purposes, just standardizing on one caliber, on one type of ammo, on one thing is the easiest way to do it. And I just go 9mm. That's it. That's my carry ammo. That's my fighting ammo. My wife, 9mm. That's her carry ammo. That's her fighting ammo. Except for she's my wife, and she's a she, so she has different problems than I do. She cannot carry a bigger gun. She wants that little 42 Glock, and she actually wants it to be smaller, and that's a 380. So nobody makes a 9mm and that small, and if they did, nobody want to shoot the stinking thing because it would be too uncomfortable. So, now I stock 2 types of ammo, and that's it. I stock the 9mm to shoot a lot. I've got a little 380 on the side because she doesn't practice all that much, and then I've got my self-defense ammo in the 380, and I've got my self-defense ammo in 9, and I have so much standardized on that stuff that Federal HSTs, those are my 9mm ammo of choice. That's what I use. I recently went from 124 grain to 147 grain, but that was not a big change. And I went
Yeah.
from plus P's to standard pressure, so they're all marked. It's kind of awesome when I look at the back of the cartridge; they're all marked. But that was kind of weird for me. Now I have hundreds of 124 grains laying around that I'm trying to cycle out and put the 147 grains in, just because I started using pistol caliber carbines as my self-defense stuff too. And the pistol caliber carbines do much better with the heavier, slower bullet than the faster, lighter bullet for bullet construction and blah, blah, blah. All of that stuff, it works better out of the stuff that I have. So I'm just standardized off of that. And then fodder ammo, I stock 2 kinds of fodder 9mm. That's it. The cheapest steel crap I can find. Doesn't matter. Whoever's got whatever on sale, that's what I'm buying.
Right.
And then I buy some decent MagTech 9mm 124 grain, the blue box stuff. I actually like that, and I like shooting it. It shoots really accurate for me. And if I have to go to a range or someplace that doesn't allow steel ammo, that's what I'll shoot. And I just buy that stuff by the case of 1,000 anywhere I can find it. And so I don't have to work for it. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to anything. It's just I go onto the websites I like, and there it is, and I buy it. I don't think about anything else. I don't have to read the box. I don't have to do nothing. So it's way easier. 5.56, I still stock a bunch of that stuff for my self-defense rifles. I went to one type of ammo for that a while ago. X-Tac, the PMC X-Tac 5.56 ammo. That's the only thing I buy.
That's
super accurate. It works for self-defense. It's cheap enough that I can go out there and shoot classes and range trips with it, and that is it. I'm just done stocking all of this other crap that I can't find.
It's tough. It's tough to do all that stocking. And I'm going to get your opinion on something else, Ben. I see a lot of people do this. I see a lot of people for their primary carry, they'll have something like a Glock or an M&P or a SIG 320, whatever it is that they like. And then when they have to carry something smaller or a pocket gun, they're carrying a snubby revolver. Now, I would kind of really suggest against doing that. My opinion is if you got a striker primary and you train with a striker fired gun, and then you have to pull out a revolver in self-defense, the revolver shoots differently. You have to grip a revolver differently. It's using a different type of ammo with a different recoil that feels a lot different than a small striker fired gun. I think that could work against you. What do you think?
It definitely can work against you big time. But I have to give a caveat here. If you know me, I generally carry a pocket revolver as my secondary weapon. And the reason is because I carry it in a pocket. I have not been able to get a little semi-auto to fit and come in and out of the pocket as well as I wanted to. Actually, after all this COVID crazy, I'm thinking of having a custom-made holster that I think will solve some of the problems. But when you look at an auto versus a revolver, they're kind of, this one sucks. This is one I bought and I don't use because it has a hammer spur on it. I want something without the hammer spur because it has this nice rounded shape to it.
Yeah.
Semi-autos are always square in the back, and that's where the square part of your pocket in your jeans is. What's it going to get hung up on? It always does. I cannot get this stupid. I haven't found a semi-auto that I can get out of my pocket well, out of a pocket holster, and it doesn't work for me. So that's why I still carry the revolver. There's a lot of things I don't like about the revolver. One, that double action trigger. Two, it's a different ammo. Man, I just want 9mm ammo. I hate 38 special. I found one set of ammo that I buy, and that is it. I don't want anything else, but I still have it, so I still use it. I'm not actively looking, but I'm open to finding some other system. And I think if I could make that, you got the 365. If I can make that work for me, I would love to go to the SIG prices and have SIG brand and have the 365 as my pocket gun and the 365 XL as my actual carry gun. So then they're same family, same ammo, same magazines, same everything.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about pocket carry. For me, this P365 is a little too big for my pocket. I found that a Ruger LCP2, I forgot to get it out of my safe, but a Ruger LCP2 comes out of my pocket quickly. I don't have the problem of that gun getting snagged up in my pocket. It's got a lot of rounded edges on it, and even though it's kind of square, it's maybe in segment 3. If we do a segment 3, I'll show it. So that's my pocket gun, and it's striker fired. No, it's not the same caliber as a 9mm. It's a 380, but the operation and the feel of it is very similar to my striker fired guns. So that's my pocket carry.
Yeah, well, remember that LCP is actually a hammer fired gun. They
Well, yes, okay, it's a hammer fire. I made a mistake about
nice.
it.
They stole
Nice,
Ruger stole it from this little P32. Not that they didn't improve on it, because they did, but they stole the hammer fired gun, and you can see that this one is hammer fired. The hammer is back there. It's just inside the frame, so you can't see it. And
you're right. You're right. I'm wrong. It is a hammer fired gun, but it feels very much, especially the LCP2. It feels very much like a striker.
I love the LCP2, and honestly, my wife likes that size gun. She didn't like it in 380. They just came out with the 22. So after the whole COVID craze, I think that's going to be one of the ones we're going to try is the LCP2 and 22. I know 22 is not the best of self-defense caliber, but if I can get her to practice more and practice more and carry the gun more, I'd rather have her have the 32 than have the 380 somewhere in the safe or in the car. She left it in her purse, and now her purse is over there in the corner, and then she gets mugged. So
the other pocket carry gun that I would highly recommend, and I think this is what I was thinking about a few minutes ago, my car P380. Those lines of pocket guns they come out of the pocket nicely, especially in a good pocket holster. Now that's a double action trigger. It's not a striker fired. But the gun feels so similar to like a P365 or even like an M&P. It just feels good in my hand. So those are my pocket guns.
Well, cool. I can't shoot your car with a snot because I have size giant hands.
Shot the LCP2 pretty well, though.
The LCP2 I like. That's why I'm like the 22. That would be cool. And if my wife goes to one, maybe I'll go to one as a backup too, just to get that commonality too. So we're carrying the same gun all the time. I can't get her to carry all the time, but if I'm always carrying my backup gun as that LCP2 and that's her primary carry gun, and then I'm carrying a full-size gun, if something really, really goes down and we're out and about somewhere, at least now we can both armed. I can take mine out of my pocket and hand it to her and be like, okay, you got this one, I got that one. You know how all this works. Let's go.
Yeah. So if you look at my ammunition cabinet, which is right over about 8 feet away from me, if you open that up, all my handgun ammo is 9mm and 380. Nothing else. All 9mm and 380. And all my rifle ammo is 5.56. Because those are my main go-to. I take that back. I got some 357 Magnum, but that's not for a handgun. That's for my lever action carbine. So it makes it really easy to get economical purchases on ammo and make it easy, like you said, when ordering.
Yeah, and then my ammo doesn't even fit in the house. It stays in the garage because I feel like it's coming out of my ears, and I know all of you out there are like, yeah, I'll get rid of it for you. Just send it to me, right?
Yeah.
No, I'll keep it. I'll deal with the logistics problem to have that much ammo on hand. But just over the years, when I was shooting 45, I had 45 ammo forever, and so I still got a bunch of that lying around. The 32, I've got a bunch of that lying around. I've got a bunch of AK ammo lying around when that was one of my primary defense weapons. So I've got lots of stuff that's just kind of lying around, and it makes it confusing. It gets hard to find, and it gets hard to catalog and figure out what you got. So just standardizing it on your self-defense stuff is way easier. Have your pile of fun stuff. Don't give up your little fun guns or your whatever other calibers.
Don't give those up
because they're cool. But it's always cool to have cool guns. But when you come to self-defense and you want to stock for the zombie apocalypse or something, hey, it's easy to do one caliber.
In closing, let me say this. You have to have a different grip on a revolver than you do on a striker fired. If you make the mistake of gripping a revolver like you do with a striker fired gun, I think you might be a little sorry. And how do I know that? I did that, and my right thumb kind of got burned by some powder that was coming out of the cylinder on that revolver. So keep that in mind.
Little too much thumbs forward there.
Hey, a little too much thumbs forward, but that's what I'm saying is, people get used to picking up a gun and then and with a certain grip, and Plus, have you ever noticed? You can tell I'm not a huge fan of snubby revolvers. Have you ever noticed that when you shoot those things, their recoil is different? They seem to jump around in your hand a lot more, and they can be pretty punishing if you have certain ammo in those.
Some of the little guns are, I don't know how you do it. I'm a manly man, but holy snot. The
You mean the snubby
340,
revolvers? You mean?
yeah, the 342 PD. My buddy used to have one of those.
Oh,
We go to the range and he goes, "Yeah, you got to shoot this. This is my backup gun." I'm like, "Oh, cool." And he hands it to me with 5+ P rounds in there. I shot it 5 times. I handed it back to him and I'm like, "You can keep this piece of junk."
yeah.
I'm done with that. I couldn't hit the bar outside of a barn. Every time I pulled the trigger, it felt like somebody took a baseball bat and was hitting me in the hand. And I was just like, "Nope." And I think that's where it is. There is nothing between you and the round when it comes to revolvers, especially the small ones. Like you see the back strap is all exposed, just one steel piece that goes up steel to the frame that sits, right here that holds the whole round when it moves. That's it. There's no flex, there's no give, there's no nothing. At least in an autoloader, you've got all sorts of flex and give in the plastic frames, plus the spring and all that cool stuff. So
They're
it
more
spreads out.
comfortable to shoot.
It spreads out the recoil is what I think, and
Much
at
more
least what I
comfortable.
feel. So I like shooting those better. Revolvers are just something that I've picked up over the years because, well, everybody has one, right?
Yeah, well, everybody has one. Yeah. Okay. That concludes this segment and pretty much our message about commonality. We'd like to get comments right below this video. You can put all kinds of comments. You'll find links, by the way, to other videos like this one. Ben and I have a Shooters Club membership, and that's a website where you can access about, I think we've got about 84, 85 videos and about a dozen audio podcasts, custom material, not gun reviews, but actually training material, right, Ben?
Yep, you can learn everything from how to draw the gun, how to clear the gun, to team tactics over there. So go
Yep.
check it out.
Shootersclubmembers.com. A link will be right below this video. That's shootersclubmembers.com. Don't forget, if you are in the market for a good holster, please check out our sponsor, Concealment Solutions, and you can find that link in the show notes. Just for watching this video, you can get a 10% discount on the order at Concealment Solutions. In the notes, you'll see how to do that. I'm Bob Main from Handgun World Podcast and Modern Handgunners, and you...
I'm Ben Branham from Modern Self Protection. Thank you for watching. Modern Handgunners out.